Imagine a place where time runs differently. That's right, North Korea has its own time zone, known as Pyongyang Time, which is 30 minutes behind South Korea and Japan. This might seem a trivial thing, but it is indeed a reflection of North Korea's pursuit of uniqueness and self-reliance, a principle deeply embedded in their national ideology. This peculiar time zone sets the stage for a series of unexpected rules that govern life in North Korea. North Korea's time zone might be unique, but that's just the beginning. Let's dive into some bizarre rules. Freedom of religion, not in North Korea. The state has its own ideology, UK, and it doesn't entertain other faiths. This philosophy, born from a blend of Marxism and extreme nationalism, is the only belief system permitted. Any hint of religious inclination, be it Christianity, Buddhism, or any other faith, is met with severe punishment. This leaves North Koreans without the liberty to explore, question, or choose their spiritual path. Religion isn't a choice for North Koreans, it's dictated by the state. Personal style takes a back seat in North Korea. The government has approved a select number of haircuts for men and women. Imagine walking into a barbershop only to find less than 30 state-approved hairstyles to choose from. For men, it's even more stringent, with only about 10 haircuts on the menu, and forget about long, flowing locks. That's strictly against the rules. These hairstyles are more than just a trend, they're a reflection of societal control. A haircut isn't just a fashion statement, it's a rule. In North Korea, what you watch, read, and listen to is controlled by the state. The government maintains a firm grip on all forms of media, ensuring only state-approved narratives reach the public. Radio and television channels broadcast only government content. Newspapers and magazines are filled with state propaganda. Internet access is heavily restricted and monitored. This extreme censorship denies citizens the right to informed opinions, keeping them in the dark about the world beyond their borders. Freedom of press is a foreign concept in the Hermit Kingdom. Blue jeans symbolize American imperialism in North Korea and are therefore banned. A seemingly ordinary fashion staple in most parts of the world holds a different meaning in North Korea. The color blue, specifically in jeans, is seen as a symbol of America and thus a symbol of its imperialism. This leads to an absolute ban on blue jeans. While you and I might view jeans as a casual, everyday comfort, in North Korea, your choice of clothing can be seen as a political statement. Traveling freely within the country or internationally isn't a right for North Koreans. Imagine a world where the freedom to explore is shackled. Travel restrictions are so severe that citizens need permission to leave their hometowns. International travel is even more heavily controlled. Only the elite or those with government authorization can cross borders, and even then they are accompanied by minders. The idea of a spontaneous weekend getaway is non-existent. A simple road trip is a luxury North Koreans can't afford. In North Korea, if you commit a crime, your entire family could pay the price. This might sound like a plot from a dystopian novel, but it's an unfortunate reality. The rule of 3 generations of punishment dictates that the guilt of one individual can doom their children and even their grandchildren to a life of hard labor, imprisonment, or worse. This chilling concept is a stark reminder that in the secluded nation, the idea of justice has a different meaning in North Korea. Voting is mandatory in North Korea, but there's only ever one option on the ballot. This curious rule is another of the many paradoxes in the Hermit Kingdom. Every citizen is required to vote, yet the very essence of choice is stripped away, leaving behind a hollow ritual. The one candidate invariably is the supreme leader, the embodiment of the state. This rule, like many others, reinforces the absolute power and control of the regime. Democracy is a facade in the Hermit Kingdom. Making an international call in North Korea could land you in prison. Imagine, if you will, a world where your voice is confined within borders, where your words are monitored and censored. In North Korea, this is a grim reality. International calls are strictly prohibited, severing the lines of communication with the outside world. This rule isn't a mere suggestion, it's enforced with an iron fist. Breaching it could lead to severe punishment, even imprisonment. Communication isn't a right, it's a privilege in North Korea. Christmas isn't on the North Korean calendar. December 25th is a regular working day. In the Hermit Kingdom, the twinkling lights and joyous carols of Christmas are conspicuously absent. Here, religious holidays are not recognized. Instead, this day passes like any other, stripped of its festive cheer and spiritual significance. The nation's strict control over religious practices means that the spirit of Christmas A time of joy and giving is a foreign concept. Festive cheer is scarce in the Hermit Kingdom. In North Korea, criticizing the leadership is a crime punishable by death. This rule is one of the strictest, reinforcing an atmosphere of fear and absolute obedience. Dissenting voices are not just silenced but extinguished, often along with their families. It is a stark reminder of the power the leadership holds over the people's lives. Whether it's a whisper of discontent or a bold declaration, any form of criticism can bring about dire consequences. Freedom of speech isn't part of the North Korean vocabulary. These rules might seem strange, even shocking to us, but they're daily realities for millions. As we navigate through our daily lives, let's take a moment to appreciate the freedoms we often overlook, the freedom to express ourselves, to follow our passions, to connect with the world, to simply be ourselves without fear. It's a stark reminder of how precious our freedoms are and how easily they can be taken for granted.